Stanford, Notre Dame. This one in South Bend. Looks like 53 the total. Notre Dame laying 5.5. This one on NBC. Big man, what do you got for the Cardinal and Irish?
I was actually quite interested in hearing Asher's opinion on how Notre Dame
Yeah, he
is a
had
bad
something.
team. I was kind of interested in hearing that. Maybe we'll get him back. I don't know, um, but yeah, this is a wild game because you look at it from afar and you say, "Wow, that's going to probably come down to the wire, isn't it?" But Notre Dame,
Yeah.
I think they might have found something in Ian Book, haven't they? I mean, it's not Ian Cameron, it's Ian Book. Ian getting the job done here. And salute to him. He's done a great job. And that's really where I look at this game and I say, I'm not wanting to jump in front of Notre Dame. Brandon Wimbush, I wouldn't mind doing it, but Book is another dynamic. Stanford, though, I mean, they killed me last week. I did have Oregon. Stanford is a team that I'll be honestly say, Drew, I've lost more money betting against that group for years on end. They just seem to always find a way, which is amazing. And as bad as I want to take Notre Dame, because I do think they're a good team, I think defensively they're very good, and I think they'll do a nice job against Bryce Love. They can be run on. I mean, Wake Forest ran for 259 yards against them. Ball State had a pretty nice day on the ground against them. Um, I'll be honest. I think this game comes down to the wire. I do. I think at 5.5, if I can get 6, it's hard for me to not take Stanford here, just because I think they're a pretty good team. They have that receiver now, Arcega Whiteside. They can stretch the field. Um, you know, and the public love Notre Dame, as we know. So, gun to my head, I'd take Stanford.
Big man, so you bring up some questions with Notre Dame being able to stop the run. How do you think that fares against Stanford? Because I would actually say Stanford in the trenches this year isn't like the Stanford of old. I felt like Oregon was almost giving them, kind of going head to head with them. Maybe about even in terms of
Yeah, and,
defensive
and I,
line, offense.
it's a good point. I mean, I think for finally Stanford was tested. I mean, they had trouble getting stops, and I think they will because you don't have that standard Stanford line, that Harrison Phillips, the Solomon Thomas type players. You lost some secondary help last year. I mean, you look at the last few games. I mean, they've given up some yards through the air. I mean, Notre Dame, I think, will be able to move the ball. I'm looking at this total at 52. I think this is giving way too much respect to these defenses. I don't think Stanford's as good as defensively as people think. And Notre Dame, I think you can move the ball on them too. So, I mean, 52 seems a bit low to me. It kind of reminds me of that Washington State USC game last week. I mean, it just seems too low. If this was 57, I'm off it. But I could see like a 28-24 type of game here. 30-24. I think this game could find a way to get over the total.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I like him to score points, and we've talked about this a bunch on SBR. And in my opinion, the best way to win in this business is to find change. And when you can find that and take advantage before the marketplace does, that's how you can win some money. And I feel like Notre Dame, yeah, there's a lot of eyeballs on them, but they did change quarterbacks. The offense looks a lot better, so I think that there's actually value on Notre Dame laying this number. However, getting too close to a touchdown is something I would kind of pump the brakes on. But maybe the over, maybe Notre Dame minus 5.5. I kind of lean towards both of those sides.
You know, it's interesting because there's some great comments on the chat. I mean, Alex B. Smith checking in. What's up, brother? He's saying that he thinks the game comes down to a field goal, and that's kind of where I feel like it is. I think it's a pretty great game. One of those good, 7:30 games. Ray Williams is mentioning that Bryce Love forces you to go one-on-one with receivers, and that's where by having a quarterback now, you can be more dynamic offensively. I think Stanford, I said early in the season, I thought they were an over team, and I think they're going to prove that kind of as the season goes on. They've only had 3 line games, and it was against opponents that struggled to move the ball. But I think you're going to see more games like last week as opposed to games in the 20s.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to our channel. Now we've put a lot of work into producing all these free videos, so please help us out and keep all our content free for you forever by simply liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Now, not to mention, a visit to our industry-leading website will warm the hearts of all our SBR employees, especially myself. Now, the links are over there to the left, so do check those out. Thanks for watching.